Well, here's a story out of Washington State. This ought to make you feel freaking comfortable. The Office of the Washington State Auditor on Monday pretty much stated that, guess what? They're investigating they call it a security incident, all right, which the personal information of 1.6 million people who had filed unemployment claims in the state in 2020. Yeah, pretty much. If you're one of these 1.6 million people in Washington State that filed for unemployment claims last year, well, yeah, they got your personal data. The breach came from a software vulnerability in Etherium's file transfer appliance. Okay. So during the week of January 25th, which would have been, I guess, last week or the week before, of 2021, that an unauthorized person gained access to the SAO files by exploiting a vulnerability in the file transfer service. And according to this information that the Washington State Register had filed for unemployment insurance claims, the exact information that may have been incomplete include full name, social security number, driver's license, state identification number, bank account number, bank routing number, and place of employment. For those of you who live outside the United States, like there is not a national ID card, though social security number is close to it. So each state has a driver's license, and you have a driver's license number, which is technically a state your ID number. Like if you have a driver's license, or you have if you don't have a driver's license, then you would have an ID card, an ID card, which is the same thing, works just as well as a driver's license. So for those idiots on the news going, well, someone doesn't have a driver's license, you can have a state ID card that's not a driver's license. At 16, I think at 15 you can get a learner's permit. At least it used to be. I don't know what it is in other states. And at 16 you get a driver's license. If you can't get a driver's license, you can actually get a state ID card. And here I'll go through also the bank account number, bank routing number, and place of employment. Oh, that's good. So they got the full gambit to steal your identity and steal all your crap. Get going. The unauthorized. Here's what they said. I guess what they said, according to this article, that they had confirmed on the 25th that someone had gotten in there, but they believe that it occurred back in late December of last year, of 2020. Although it does appear that the full scope of the intrusion wasn't really made aware of until Etherium disclosed earlier this month that a file transfer application was the target of a sophisticated cyber attack. This company, which is based out of Palo Alto, said on January that it was made aware of the vulnerability of its legacy FTA software, that's the file transfer, whatever, in mid-December, which it claimed it had addressed the issue and released a patch to less than 50 customers. And here's the problem about patches. You deal with this in IT all the time, and you really have to explain this to people. Like, they'll release a patch, but the patch won't be implemented until someone actually implements the patch. Sometimes they won't do it because we got to check to see if the patch is safe. All right, we got to make sure it doesn't mess with our system. And while then they get, and other times they're just too lazy to do it, and there's a lot of stuff behind that. Etherium said that they're contracted with an industry-leading cybersecurity forensic firm to investigate things. Now, obviously, they're not going to say who they're hiring because if they know who they're hiring, then the people can do something to thwart it. Yeah, I love this in the article. Given that the compromised information can be abused to carry out identity theft or fraud, yeah, you gave them all the information. You gave them name, social security number, bank account number, where they worked. You gave them everything. You didn't. It sounds like to me they didn't even encrypt the data. Good going, Washington State. You should encrypt that stuff. There's this thing called encryption, and it like keeps things secret and stuff. Seriously, people. Now. Yeah, and what it says here, and listen, if you're part of these 1.2, if you even filed for unemployment in Washington State, go put a alert on your credit report, freeze as much stuff, contact your bank if you can, get a new bank account. Okay? Yeah, now some of you people ain't got money. Now, some of the people who are obviously ain't got money, unless you won the lottery, you probably, or you got something from a rich uncle or something, you ain't got money. So, but they could use this to, if you happen to have good credit, which, God, don't get me started on the whole credit system. That whole credit system is a friggin' sham, and we helped create it. We as the American people helped create it because we got sold something we shouldn't. And because then I'm not going to get into that. But in it's really interesting. Here's a noteworthy chant in the article, and this is from the Hacker News, so I didn't read it verbatim. They said that a couple that the FCA was used to actually attack a couple other organizations, which would have been the Australian Securities and Investment Commission (ASIC) and the Reserve Bank of New Zealand (RBNZ) in recent weeks. So, like I said, they found the vulnerability. They put a patch out, to solve it, or a hot fix, or whatever they call it. And then whoever got it didn't institute it for whatever reason. And some reasons we got to make sure it doesn't mess with our security, or a lot of that. It's like we'll get to it when we get to it. Patch your shit, people. Do your updates. I'm kind of bad about it myself sometimes, but I ain't got any money, so who cares? So that's about it. So wish you guys just. Those people watching it, I really hope that you aren't one of those people, but really, they don't know what they got. If they got everything, you guys are kind of screwed. But please do something to protect yourselves, especially if you live in Washington. Keep an eye on your credit card. Do what you can. Notify all the credit agency. Put an alert on your credit file. Do what you can, please. I don't want anybody to get hurt by this, but I don't know if this is through incompetence of the Washington State. I'm sure they got the fix. Did they put the fix in? Did the fix work? We don't know this. Yes, Etherium did find a vulnerability. Yes, Etherium did patch it. Yes, Etherium did send the patch out to the people using the software. But the problem is, was the patch good enough to stop this? And if it wasn't, then what else they got to do? If it was, why wasn't it implemented? Did they get it in time to implement it? Or was the backdoor already put in too late for them to do anything? We don't know. There's a lot, so this is why they're putting forensics team in and figure out what the heck happened. But please, yeah, I know I'm repeating myself. Those of you in Washington who apply for unemployment, please put an order on your credit report. Please, 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 I'm begging you, do something to protect yourself, okay? Because if you apply for unemployment, you're in trouble now, okay? This is a bigger story than people realize. It's probably bigger than the freaking GameStop crap. Well, the GameStop crap's funny as hell. All right? Funny as hell. But this is serious. Please, I'm serious at heart attack. Protect yourselves. And that's about it.